Everybody, how you doing? It's NJP with you, cruising around La Crosse here once again, and as I said last week, going up to Rail Fair up here at Copeland Park. It's not too far away, a little ways to go, but I thought I'd turn the camera on and talk to you guys for a little bit. Saturday, 19th of July, 2014, and it's a bright sunny day. I don't want to say it's cloudless because you can see there's clouds in the sky, but it's not threatening rain. And get this, guys, we've gone not one, not two, but we have gone 3 days, yes, count them, 3 days in a row without rain. Yeah, we're finally getting that weather to dry out just a little bit. I wouldn't count on it staying dry for too long, but hey, 3 days, I'll take 3 days. I can definitely deal with that. Of course, now that it hasn't rained for 3 days, they're probably going to come on TV and say, oh, we're having a drought because it hasn't rained now for a long time, 3 days. And with the summer we've had around here, or they claim it's a summer, I don't know. It hasn't felt much like summertime up here, but that's kind of all right, I guess. I complain about that on a daily basis going to work and back, so maybe I'll save my rant on the weather for Monday morning. How's that? Anyway, like I said, it is Saturday, 19th July 2014. It's a beautiful day, and heading up to Rail Fair, not Rail Fest. Rail Fair. There's a difference because the Rail Fest is another celebration that happens, or not celebration, it's an event, I guess. In case you hadn't guessed it already, I'm a railroad buff. I love trains. I'm kind of a fanboy for railroads, so I guess you can say that. From what I understand, hey, there's a motorcycle almost exactly like mine, which you guys probably didn't even notice it, because yeah, I'll give you a replay on it. But I got a buddy who works for the BNSF Railroad up here in La Crosse, and he sent me an email last week sometime. He said that he thinks the BNSF is going to have a locomotive on display up here, so and if they do, he's going to be on it and talking to people and stuff like that. And I'm going to see if I can talk him into giving us like a little tour of the locomotive, and that'd be kind of interesting. And of course, you can better believe I'm going to have that on this vlog if it does. So this could possibly, if that happens, could turn into a very long vlog. So bear with me on this. And okay, that guy's the guy that you can't see because he's off on my left side. He just stopped. And we still have red light. Oh, right turn on red. I'm going. I'm gonna sit there. I'll go. I don't care. Oh yeah. Having a good time here in La Crosse, Wisconsin. It's beautiful, like I said, and yeah, and you can tell I'm driving the Windstar today. I have my redneck in-car camera mount, which is nothing more than a standard household tripod standing on the floor between the seats, front seats in the van. I had to take a picture of that, and I'll kind of put it in here and show you guys what it looks like. It's definitely redneck. Oh yeah. Anyway. The deal on the car it's kind of still pending. I talked to the dealer today, and they said there's a couple of financing options that are available to me, and a couple of other conditions have to be met before they can happen. But there's a pretty good chance that the car within the next week or two should be sitting in my driveway. So, and we'll have to see. I mean, like I said, it's still not a cast in stone, not a done deal, but we're definitely working on it and getting all the details hacked out and hashed out and whatever you want to call it. Oh, what's this guy doing? What is this guy doing in the middle of the road here? Let's.
Going down to park?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm parking cars for Gunderson Lutheran's picnic today.
Oh, okay. And I'm going down to Rail Fest.
You betcha.
Anyway, we're here. I shut the camera off, get out, and take a walk up there. I'm about a quarter of a mile away from Rail Fair, and get up there and do some filming.
Was a child, I spent my summer days hanging around by the tracks. I was waiting for a train going east or going west. Every day the sea went by. The train
Hi guys, I'm walking into a used to be Grand Crossing Tower up here, and this was the heartbeat of the north side of La Crosse here. 4 different railroads crossed here, and I actually spent some time in this tower when the tower was active, and have some pictures from way back when. But up there on the wall is the map of what this tower controlled, and all these levers that you're looking at here controlled train movement through this area. And this was known as Grand Crossing, and the reason for Grand Crossing is because of all the railroads crossing in one location. And this right here was the heartbeat of the whole operation. This was the desk where all communications took place. There used to be remote controlled CTCs for Tunnel City and for River Junction, and those are long gone, of course. But the radio communications, everything took place right at this desk. And when it came time to move a train, you went over and moved the appropriate levers to make sure the train got through safely. So I'm going to have a little conversation with the guys up here. This was the Grand Crossing Control Tower in La Crosse, Wisconsin. And a lot went on up here. Like I said, I used to be up here when this was an active crossing, and got a lot of photographs of it. I'll see if I can dig those up and maybe share it with you guys sometime. But anyway, we're going to move on and take a look at the locomotive over here, and then head on down to the flea market and walk around there. This here is one of the main attractions up here. This is the steam locomotive that you can see as they drive by Copeland Park. This locomotive has sat in this location for ever since I can remember, actually. It's not small by comparison. There's my hand. Kind of give you an idea what we're looking at here. And so an example, I stand 5 feet 10 inches high. This is at my eye level, and way up there, and believe me, I'm reaching. That is the top of the wheel. These wheels are 7 feet around. And this is bigger than any bearing you'll find in any car. These things are big. They have this thing hooked up to an air compressor right now so they can blow the horn on it, and I know you guys have heard that. And believe me, it gets annoying after a while, but it's kind of cute. They do this once a year. And there's the front with the sky. Can you imagine being on the railroad tracks and seeing something like this coming at you? I think I would want to get out of the way of this. I'm really not sure I'd want to deal with this. These are the actual engine right here. This is the cylinder where the steam did all the work in there. Connecting rod runs down to the wheel drivers. And then there's that's the main rod, and then there's connecting rods that run in between all the wheels. This is actually not one of the larger steam locomotives that there was. This is probably, I would say, a mid-sized steam locomotive. But it is definitely massive, no doubt about that. Steam engines were big. And they actually have steps going up to the cab, so if you want to take a look around up there, we can do that too. This was the coal tender, coal and water. Coal for the boiler and then water for the steam, of course. And everything is big on this, even the chain. And I don't have small hands by any stretch of the imagination, and this dwarfs me. Anyway, let's go up in the cab and take a look around. Right now we're standing in what used to be the coal tender for this locomotive. And where I stand here, looking into the locomotive, that's where the coal used to come out. And just ahead in there, that's the firebox where they had the fire in there. They used to shovel coal into that to keep the locomotive fired up. And this whole area that I'm standing in right here would be full of coal. The rest of it underneath this was all water for the steam, and there's a pipe that runs up to the front to run water into the boiler to make steam. And this is the actual cab of the locomotive. Most of the controls and everything have been taken out of here for display purposes, but it's there was usually a lot of levers and a lot of gauges to keep track of in here. It took a lot to run one of these deals. So, one day I'll talk to somebody and we'll figure out how they used to actually run one of these steam locomotives. I don't have a clue myself, but it would be a definite learning experience. Okay, where I'm standing right now is what used to be known as the cupola on a caboose, and it sits up higher. and the trainmen would sit in these seats, and they would actually be able to look out over the whole train and look for problems in the train. If there was a smoking brake, or if there's a fire or a hot box or something like that, they'd have to notify the engineer that there was a problem with the train. Yeah, I'm sitting up in the cupola. As you can see, this had a really nice view from up here, and this was the best seat in the house. You can look forward over the whole train, and there's the locomotive up there. This is all for display now, and that's what the other side looks like. So there'll be a guy sitting on this side looking over this side of the train, and then there'll be another guy sitting over there looking over that side of the train. And that was the way they used to do things back in the days when they used to have cabooses on trains. Now underneath here, there was all kinds of storage in there for, I would imagine the guys in the caboose took their clothes along with them, stored them in there. There was train parts that got stored in there, pieces for couplers and brake hoses and all kinds of different stuff that they need for trains. As you can see up there, there's a couple lanterns over there on that countertop. But the caboose was a pretty important part of the train because they had the conductor's office in it, and it also had crew quarters in some cases, where they had bunks along the side of it where the crew could actually sleep while they were on the road. And of course there's more storage in here. Storage for stuff, and yes, for those wondering, there was a bathroom on these, but I'm not going to show you that because I don't think we need to see that. But it was definitely a part of living here. And that was where the crew spent their days and slept in there too. That was where they cooked meals, made coffee, of course. The mainstay of all railroad work is coffee. And over there is the conductor's table, conductor's desk. And you'd write out train orders, work on train orders, and whatever else conductors have to write on. Keep track of the consists to the cars and what's in them and so forth. It was all done right there on that table. So that was what it was like back in the old days on a real caboose on a train. And I'm one of these old school guys who thinks the train should still have cabooses on them, but I think I'm outvoted these days. So anyway, that is the little mini tour of a caboose. And as we get ready to leave this area of the rail fair, this is what's called a semaphore, and those were the signals that controlled the movement of a train. If that was straight up in the air, that was called high ball, which means you come through at full speed. If it was halfway in between, that was approach, which means you come in at limited speed, and if it's the way it's sitting now, that meant to come to a full stop. Same thing as a traffic control light, basically. It's red, green, and yellow. And that one had the added benefit of having an arm on it, so you could see what the arm was doing. You don't see these on modern railroads anymore. They're all replaced by lights and stuff like that. All right, well, there's the locomotive and the Grand Crossing Tower kind of all in one shot. And I'm heading down towards the flea market area. Probably not going to do a lot of talking in that area, but I'll walk through there and get a couple shots kind of wandering through there. This is the scale that I model my railroad in. I've modeled railroads in N scale, which is 1/160th of a scale. 1 inch on that scale equals 160 inches in real life. Cool stuff. The last thing I need is more rolling stock. I've got over 200 rolling stock, so I don't need more of that. But just kind of show you guys what the stuff looks like. And just as a reference, these are N scale people. Pretty small, I think, but nice stuff. These guys always have a lot of nice stuff down here at this show. This is probably the most popular scale in model railroad. This is HO scale. It's about twice the size of the N scale equipment we were looking at a little while ago. And this is the most popular, and probably every kid has had one of those under the Christmas tree at one time or another. To give you a comparison, there's an N scale boxcar next to an HO scale locomotive. Quite a difference in size. This is the scale that I model in, and this is HO scale. Well, we'll see you next year at Railfest, huh? The Rail Fair? Now, you do the one at La Crosse Center too, right? Do you guys get up to the one at the La Crosse Center? Going in the spring?
Yes, in January.
I'll probably see you there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Great show.
Thank you.
Well, guys, you just had to know that I wasn't going to leave this flea market empty-handed. No, I bought a couple of bridges, and I paid $10 for the pair of these. So they were going for $8 a piece. I talked to the guy, and he said I had to do a little talking, but for $10 I got two of them. Now I just have to figure out a place to put them, but that was a pretty darn good deal, I think. Anyway, let's get going. Time is definitely getting away from us here. I got to get up to the north yard and see if I can connect with my old buddy up there. I hope so. See if I get this old Windstar spun around here. See how many cars I can block off all at one time here. There we go. And here we go. We're on the way. But shooting across here, and this building that is now right in front of us used to be where, when I was a teenager, we had a model train set up in the basement of that building right there, and they used to let us go out and wander around in the yard. You know, we had a special pass and all kinds of stuff. It was all part of the Boy Scouts Explorer post that we were doing, and it was a pretty cool thing that we had going on. And unfortunately, the display area over here looks to be empty. Nope, we're not going to get to see the inside of a diesel locomotive today. They've got that. Nope, nothing there. So we did not get to meet my friend Lee, and I didn't get to get any HD footage of the locomotive. Now I do have some old footage from a couple of years ago that I took on there. Maybe I'll put that together and make a different video out of it, but for right now, I guess that was a bust. Didn't get to see it, but well, maybe next year. We'll hop in and have a little supper, and then I don't know what else I'm going to do. Rail fair is pretty much wrapped up for the day. It's a little after 3 in the afternoon, so things are kind of winding down over there. I'm not going to return there. I've spent enough money there. But it's all good. I will enjoy these bridges once I figure out where I'm going to put them. I don't know, I'm thinking that maybe I'll start doing a little series, and maybe part of my vlogging will be building an N-scale model train layout, because right now I don't have one. I got one at my mother's house in the basement there, but I don't have one in my house where I live, so maybe it's time to start working on one. What do you think? You guys want to watch me build a model railroad? If you do, let me know in the comments, and I'll start filming it when I start working on it. Deal? Deal. Good. Now, oh my gosh, that was easy. I'm going to turn the camera off now because I'm getting really goofy. I've been in one of those goofy moods all day, so you should hear some of the conversations I had off camera. Or maybe not. Maybe not. But, no, nothing racy. I mean, you guys already know by now I don't use bad language either on or off camera. But once in a while I'll let a bomb slip out off camera, but I'm always conscious of what I'm saying when I'm on camera, so that definitely was true. But, you know, I have no use for that kind of language in my life, and you know, either on or off camera. And to be honest with you, I'm starting to not necessarily think less of people who use that kind of language, but I'm starting to think that, you know, people who use that kind of language are, I don't know what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is I'm hungry and I'm almost to North Country Steak Buffet, and I'm going to turn the camera off and go in and eat. So this is going to wrap up this vlog, at least this portion of the vlog anyway for today. This is actually going to turn into a much longer vlog than I thought, but you guys have been watching my short vlogs throughout the week, so it's time for a longer one, and you guys get to see a little bit more of what goes on in my life. So yeah, I'm almost there already. In fact, I'll just leave the camera rolling until I get there now. I mean, no sense in turning it off and turning it on and turning it off and turning it on. Oh, gas went up. It's up to $3.56 a gallon here. Jeez. I know. Actually, in some parts of the country, it's still over $4 a gallon for gasoline, so it's it actually turned into a pretty warm and humid day today, so I'm actually really glad I have air conditioning in this van, because I'm actually using it. It's not, I mean, this is more like summertime, what I expect. It's probably about 80, 85, maybe. No warmer than 85. Probably 82 or 83 out, but the humidity level's coming up, and I don't know. It is what it is. Anyway, I'm here. I'm going to eat, and then I'll probably wander down to Riverside again and see what other kind of things I can get into. So, that wraps up this segment of the NJP vlog for today.